Richard, appreciate you joining us as always, buddy. I want to start with Arkansas having the number 1 SEC class in basketball, number 2 in the country, and right now, as it stands, it's not going to stay that way. You do have the number 1 football class in the SEC, which is just crazy to think about. If you're Hunter Yurachek and you're baseball, we just know that's a top 5 class year in, year out. How excited are you for what your coaches are doing in the main 3 sports recruiting-wise?
Well, I'm sure when he goes out to eat or he's out in public, he's doing the Ric Flair strut. I mean, why not? I mean, seriously. You look at football, you look at basketball, you look at baseball, you look at men's track, you look at the women's athletic programs in basketball, track and field, softball. I guess I go back to 77 when Arkansas was number 3 in football, number 3 in basketball, and number 2 in baseball. Obviously, you didn't have as many sports doing as well as back then, but that was kind of probably the highlight of my lifetime as far as how Arkansas was doing in major sports. But it's all over the athletic program now, and he has every right to have a little pep in his step. But no, this is hey, after what happened before Coach Pittman got here, and obviously the struggles of the basketball program before Coach Muss got here, Arkansas fans were waiting on that moment for basketball to get back to where it was with under Nolan Richardson, and it never happened until Coach Muss has got here, and it's gone to a level that we haven't seen before.
Yeah. Richard, we were talking yesterday, and we got to get these players here. They got to play, and they got to get to this point. But the potential for having 4 or maybe more NBA draft selections in 1 year or one class in the draft is real. And there's only happened once where you had 4. I think there's been 4 occasions where it happened 3 times. But the reality is this potential group of players and the way it lines up has a chance to do something maybe has never been done here before. When you look at the potential for one and dones in this group and the 3 McDonald's All-Americans and 2 Gatorade Players of the Year, the potential for what could represent this program be down the road, I know we're getting cart in front of horse, is pretty staggering.
It is, and there may be a disappointment, there may be a surprise in this class. You just never know.
Right.
When I say surprise, there may be a guy that we're thinking, it may be a developed type guy in a year or two, and he may just come in and really just take off and maybe contribute more than what people anticipated. So, but yeah, I mean, when you see something like this, which we've never seen before. It's something that you see at Duke, you see at North Carolina, Kentucky, but you've never seen it at Arkansas. I mean, as far as at this level, and it's just it gives a lot of pride to the fan base, and I'm totally happy about that because I know being raised in this state, I know what the Razorbacks mean to the fans.
So what's the difference? Is it as simple as Eric Musselman? Is it as simple as winning? What's been the perfect storm that created all of this? Because it's not just a collection of in-state players. You've got Nick Smith out of here, and you got Joseph Pinion, but the McDonald's All-American players are coming from out of state. So what's created this perfect storm beyond just Eric Musselman?
Yeah, Eric Musselman and winning. There's no doubt about that, and his NBA background and the NBA experience on the staff. Anytime you can talk to a kid and say, "Yeah, we've been there, we've done that. This is how Kobe Bryant did it. This is how whoever that they've coached in the past, they can say, this is how he developed, and this is how he carried himself as a professional." And stuff like that grabs the attention, not only obviously of the kids, but also the parents. And you just have a perfect storm. A guy that absolutely has trouble sleeping because he's always thinking about how to get better, and that's Eric Musselman. I mean, the guy hardly ever sleeps. He's obsessed with winning. He's obsessed with being the best out there, and you're seeing byproducts of that.
And you don't get players of this caliber in today's NIL world unless Arkansas, and this isn't talked about publicly, and I don't know what you can or how far you can talk about this stuff, but clearly Arkansas has gotten into the NIL game. We'll just put it that way, because just from outside looking in, Richard, you don't get players of this magnitude and this many players of the magnitude unless you're willing to play by the rules of the day that we're in, and that's the day of NIL.
Well, I can say for this class, I mean, it was talked about from several of the parents about NIL and how that was something that he was definitely interested in. And obviously Coach Muss, Coach Pittman, and all of them, and obviously Hunter Yurachek started it with the program that they have for name, image, and likeness, and it was talked a lot about. I mean, believe me, I mean some of the people talked to me about it and how important it was. And hey, when you have the opportunity to make some serious money while you're in school, that's obviously huge. There's a lot of benefits, not only for that young man, but for the family too. And I know it's already helped kids make a decision to stay in school. I know that for a fact. I mean, when you have guys that are so high profiled and so well publicized, like what you got as far as this basketball class, hey, that only helps those guys be able to get more deals. And
it may keep a guy like Jalen Williams around another year, where before maybe the NBA and draft and professional basketball was too alluring because that was the place to make some money. Now with NIL, you can live a more than comfortable college life. So I think it will keep that second year player that might have left after two back for a third year now.
Yeah, if you're exactly. If you're borderline, you think, well, hey, I'm going to have to suffer and make this kind of money at school, and develop my game a little bit more and make it a little bit more attractive. For the NBA, I'll stick in school and make that kind of money. So and there's no doubt about that. And it's happened, and it's going to continue to happen.
Mm-hmm.
I look at the guys that Arkansas is bringing in, specifically Nick Smith Jr., who's being recognized at dominating the McDonald's All-American lead up to the game, and it's just getting so much national. How much of a brand do you think he builds in this state next year, especially if they somehow, some way get to Houston and get to a Final Four, Richard?
Yeah, it's all up to him. It's all up to him and who represents him and how they conduct business. Obviously, his ability on the basketball court will help him tremendously. And once he gets on campus and starts, people start to see him, more in interviews and stuff like that. They'll say, hey, I like this guy. I'd like for him to help represent my company. I mean, that's part of it. You want somebody that represents your company in a good way, and that's why you got guys that are already doing pretty good on the team right now because it benefits businesses. So, the sky's the limit for all those guys, especially Nick and Jordan and Anthony Black and I think Darian Ford.
Yeah. Where does the Muss photo rank in your mind as far, the photo of him sitting at the desk with the sunshine coming in through the windows and the 3 McDonald's cheeseburgers? You see a lot of these things on social media. To me, that was just really clever what he did. And you knew it hit when people automatically got it, but you could read some of the comments below, and some didn't get the reference that didn't understand the McDonald's tie-in with what had just happened after Black's assignment or commitment. To me, that was just clever marketing, and just the expression on his face was perfect in that photo, Richard.
I thought he was just hungry, to be honest with you.
It made me hungry. I just wondered where were the French right. Where were the French fries? You can't eat a burger at McDonald's without the fries. What's going on here?
You got that right. Yeah, no, he had that little smirk on his face.
Yeah,
there's no doubt about it.
Was perfect.
That was that you don't have. Sometimes you take the right picture it says it all.
Yeah.
And that was the right picture.
It was just perfect.
So, no.
I mean, he likes to recreate those photos. I hope he's recreating them somewhere down the road. So.
No, that was pretty good.
Yeah.
I laughed when I saw that too.
Yeah, that's one way to, I guess, get around the rules or whatever you're trying to do. Say a lot without saying anything. That's what that photo did.
Oh, they do a great job when a guy commits. They do a great job of making not only that kid feel good, but the parents feel good. And you see the parents retweeting, the videos, the pictures, whatever the theme is for that particular kid and that commitment. Oh man, they go all out, and they kind of they come up with stuff that that just I guess is unique, and it just makes the kids feel good, and obviously the fans get on board too because they love seeing that, especially after a big commitment.
And I'm surprised. I'm amazed how much stuff, guys, they do that you've never seen before. And I know they recreate a lot of the iconic NBA photos and some of those, but I don't recall ever someone doing the photo like he did with the 3 McDonald's burgers the other day. So that was pretty clever. And one other note on this before we maybe move on here is these guys will be on campus in less than 2 months, about 6 or 7 weeks. And once their high school is behind them, they'll be on campus and start getting into the system. And it will be interesting to see, maybe what filters out of these pickup games, the summer practices they're allowed to have ahead of the season. Richard, I think that the practices in October are going to be incredibly competitive, and maybe some of the best basketball you'll see before the season, just trying to make the playing roster, if you will, the 8-man or so rotation for Eric Musselman.
How about having open practices in charge and send all money to charity? I mean, seriously, you could do that because the excitement is just on a level we haven't seen before. Mm-hmm. And they'll come up with some different ways of. I don't know. Like I said, he doesn't sleep. Coach Muss doesn't sleep. He'll come up with some different ways to create excitement. And it's not like it's going to take much to create excitement.
You're old enough like me to remember when Nolan had open practices and anybody could show up, and there was enough people show up that on certain days they had the concession stands open for practice. And you go in there, they'd have the concession. It wouldn't be many, but there'd be a concession stand open. So maybe we'll get back to that day, but I don't think Eric Musselman's going to have a ton of open practices for just anybody to filter in. Richard, thank you for your time, and we'll talk to you next week on Thursday.
All right, guys. Take care. Have a good one.
Richard Davenport, the recruiting guru, with us here on the Morning Run.
Finally here, the top teams in college basketball have been determined, and the Final Four is set. Looking to wager on these games or the national championship? Head over to betonline.ag on your desktop or your mobile device and sign up today to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Just use our promo code BLEAV to get started. That's BLEAV. BetOnline remains your number one spot for all your updated odds and info, along with player props and new contests throughout the year. It's the best source for all your sporting wagering needs, including live betting and everyone's favorite Vegas casino and poker games. It's super easy to get started, so join today. Learn why everyone is saying BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to wager on sports. BetOnline, where the game starts.